Dímelo, mi gente. What's up? It's your boy Gus with GusVillaJewelry and our new co-host, DJ Melo.
Over there.
Camera
What's
over there.
up,
Hit the camera over there. Starting the episode 3, season 1 of the VVS, Very Senseless podcast. And today we are joined by a really dope ass guest. I started following this guy what seems like almost 4 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to tell you about the first impressions that I had of him the very first time I ever saw him on social media. He is one of the most fantastic he is probably the best Cuban link maker outside of Miami in the world, by far. I don't think there's anybody else that's doing those. He has custom jewelry. You might have seen him already. It's mother effing MadeByMarv in the house. Can we get a goddamn? Oh my God! Can we get a clap, creep, bro, in the back? It's the one thing that we ask every single time. Welcome to the podcast, Marv.
Thank you. I appreciate the words, though.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, I meant that. And I will go into the story about how I.
It's funny because when I saw his Instagram, I saw the work and it's amazing. I don't know anything about jewelry, but I do know a little bit because of the co-host. I do know a little bit because of him and stuff. So when I see work, I don't know how it happens. I don't know. But it just looks good. So it looked amazing. And my first thought is he's also much cooler looking than Gus.
No, well, that's true.
So it's not
off
even
rip.
You know,
That's a better. It's
so
a
that
better.
already helps too, dog. You know.
So talk to me, Marv. How you doing today, bro?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, you're in Miami.
Yeah, that's
you
crazy.
You
That's
went out to the beach yet?
Of course.
Did
We just
you?
had a look, though, because, mostly been business, trying to just do stuff. But we had a look. It was a huge beach, though. But I'm not that type of beach guy. Not so much.
Really?
So, yeah.
You look like a type of beach guy, dog. You got beach guy vibes.
Is there beaches in Oslo or no?
Nah.
No, I don't know. I don't know much about
Oslo. Like,
no.
people do, but I don't like
But
it.
there's beaches, right? I don't even know where it's at,
sort
bro,
of.
to be honest.
Sort of beaches.
By the way, everyone who's not understanding why we're saying Oslo, he is from Oslo. He's actually not from Miami. All the way over here from Oslo, Norway. And he's here. And we're going to ask you a couple of questions. This podcast might get weird. Like I said, it usually always does at some point during the day. So without further ado, let's get started. I do have one question that I start off with. And it's probably the most asked question to me. I don't know about anybody else. I'm sure you get the same damn question in your genre. And I'm sure people have tried to ask you before. I'm sure of it because if they asked you, they asked me a million times as well. How did you get started in jewelry? And how the fuck did you get so good at doing jewelry? That's number one. And how the fuck did you start doing Cuban link chains in Oslo? No, all right, that's a jam-packed question, but go ahead.
Yeah, okay, nice. So, first of all, I started to wear jewelry myself. And then after a while, it sparked an interest in how is this created, And I think it was like a full-on year of just watching YouTube videos of how jewelry was made. And then that's when the Miami Cuban Links, those videos there were most of those videos. And they were so detailed. And then I started to fall in love with that link. And I thought to myself, I just have to make this one day. And then I think it was actually a full year just watching videos of Miami Cuban Links before I decided to save some money and buy the equipment that I needed to make my first Cuban link.
No fucking way. So you started strictly just watching YouTube videos?
YouTube University, bro.
Binged Miami Cuban Links on YouTube.
Yeah, but the thing about it, I've done the video a million times on YouTube. There's a bunch of them, but I don't exactly. That's gonna sound so bad, but I don't exactly reveal the whole entire process of how to do it.
No, for sure. And it's been a lot of back and forth. I was watching the video and then I was watching my own channel. This is not the same at all.
Nah, dude. Hell no.
And it was coiling and everything was just bad. So it was really a lot of, research and just trying stuff to be able to perfect it.
I know that you have one shot. That's a Miami Cubanism. Cubans are all over Miami, and they just do shit sometimes that just is just let's just get it done. Yeah. In other words, so I don't know. I'm gonna tell you the example. Coiling links on the mandrel that has to spin.
Yeah.
They like you before you used to have to like grab 2 pins and like swirl them around, and that's how you used to do them. And we'll put some B-roll on that so people can get a visual on that. But they grabbed or they invented a way of just sticking a screwdriver or like a power drill.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen that.
And then wind it up manually like that. And I've seen you do that. Where the hell did you learn that? That's a very Miami way of rolling those links. Straight up.
Yeah, probably.
That's not professional. They don't teach you that in jewelry school, Pablo.
That's not on. That probably wasn't on YouTube.
Hell no. How did you learn how to do that? Just that little thing. That's what I'm saying. There's so many little things that you can't learn on YouTube. The video would be way too long.
No, but the thing is, I would watch every second of the video, and then like, and I think I saved like an Instagram post the first time when I saw somebody use a drill to coil the links. Yeah. And this was even back when I even made my links round, so they were trash.
Yeah, they weren't oval.
Yeah.
And
then
that's a thing. Why don't tell? People ask me that all the time.
Yeah, me too. Now they ask me though.
Do you tell them?
No.
Oh, damn.
I gotta gatekeep that one. Like, I've spent so many hours and I've tried so many things. Like, I bought a hammer and I started to hammer stuff to make it oval.
Like once it was rolled up and then hammered it oval?
No, like the mandrel.
Oh, you would hammer it oval.
Yeah.
And you're an animal.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I really tried everything. Trust me.
That's crazy.
But that's the trial and error, man. Like, you don't get there.
You have to go through those steps.
Correct.
Right.
And that's when you like...
But I think that's the reason why some people, like, I understand. I'm all for sharing information. I really am, bro.
Yeah.
And like, if there are people that give me information about anything, I'm so grateful. And I've been able to like advance my career in anything that I've done because I've had like a mentor or someone to help me or show me the way. And I'm all for that. But I'm also for, like, there is a certain amount of information that unless you go through the ringer yourself, you're not going to truly appreciate it, bro. And like, you have to gatekeep that shit. It's like asking you, bro, like, let me get that mix. Like, how did you mix those 2 songs together? And you practiced that so hard until you finally got the exact place to put it in. And then someone's just gonna come in there not doing any work and be like, oh, bro, those jump rings, are they oval or round, dog? Like, oh yeah, let me just give you all this information that I worked so fucking hard to get to, and I'm just gonna give it away. I'm not gonna do that, dog.
But even if you knew how to do it, like if you taught me how to do it, if I saw a video wwhere you guys showed me everything to do, I still wouldn't be able to do it. I would still have to put in work. Right?
Exactly.
So I mean, but my point is, like, in my sense, like, as a DJ, like, for me, I compare it for, like, if someone asks me for my crates, right? My crates is like where my music is at and all that stuff. I'll give you all my crates and I'll show you how to mix them, but it's still not gonna come out the same if you don't do the work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think, in my opinion, that you guys would you could do that. You could give that information, because at the end of the day, you know, especially with you guys that are doing content, it's gonna give the audience a little bit more trust, and also, you know, again, they're gonna have to put in the work. They're gonna have to do it, right? Or am I wrong here?
Yeah,
what do you think?
Like, to some extent, I agree with you. And like, now, earlier, I was like even more on gatekeeping when I started to like figure it out. But as of now, you start to be like, okay, you've got your own brand, and it's not just the link anymore. It's who you are and who created it.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would be like a threat to give it out to people now.
See that?
Go ahead, tell us.
What is it?
Tell us that measurement between legs. Go ahead.
Yeah, but that's the small thing that I'm not ever gonna give away.
Give that away.
Right. But that's like the
difference you from
the secret sauce.
The secret sauce, you can't give that out.
But that's what I'm saying.
Of
But
course.
look, there are a bunch of people that will send me messages. I could open up my Instagram right now. There's probably 4 of them in there they're at the, you know, they make jewelry at home. You know what I mean? And it's almost gatekeeping because of the secret sauce, is what I'm trying to say. Like, you know what I mean? Because there are so many people out there making Cuban links, and you see them, and they're trash. And it's not because of anything. It's just they're not very good at it. And there's little secrets that you do that when I see a Cuban link chain out there, I know what it's supposed to look like. And when I see that spacing and I see it exactly the way I do it, or maybe even better in your case, like, I look at it and I'm like, God damn it, like that person gets it.
Yeah.
It's like seeing a dope ass DJ and he does something and you're just like, oh yeah, that guy's good.
But you think it's like one of those things where either you have it or you don't type of
Nah.
deal, or is it like you just you eventually do get it?
I think I could probably learn or teach anyone to make a Cuban like I do right now.
Sure.
Because there are so many messages that you say like, to make a 10 millimeter, how thick is the wire?
Oh yeah, Papa. You're not getting any of that, dog. Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely
No
not.
millimeter
But
talks.
You
ever.
guys didn't get that when you guys
Nope.
started learning.
No. The thing is, you
that's-
are, at least for me, like I was taught by a guy who was reluctant to teach, and you know him. Creep knows him. He was super reluctant to teach you the measurements. He would say, I'll do the measurements and I'll teach you how to solder. And that's how I learned. So I learned how to solder. I learned how to do everything except for the measurements. And he would say, I would do that. I'm going to do that. And he would gatekeep like that. And it wasn't until we had cameras at the shop. where I literally had to do that to figure it out. And then I would do that in front of him. And then I would get it, but I wouldn't get it like maybe as so close. Or maybe I wouldn't get like, I'd get the wire at like maybe just a little bit. So it'd be like 9.5 instead of a 10 millimeter off rip, you know? Now I could tell you off the top of my hand, just with the weight, I can tell you what it's going to be. But back then I didn't know anything. So it's like that, you know? And some people are fortunate. Some people, their dad will tell them, hey, this is what it has to be.
Yeah.
But for the regular person, you're not going to just get caught. You're not going to just get taught those secrets, because that's what makes a really good Cuban link maker, as opposed to just kind of like a meh.
Like just a guy, a
Yeah.
jag.
Yeah, in essence, dog. And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying to withhold information, but there are certain things that you do
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
that you have to like just keep to yourself, because you earn that. And then eventually that person, if they work hard enough and they go through the ringer, then they're like, oh, if you see that, then you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like you earned that. You know what I mean? You got there just like us.
So now we're counterparts.
Yeah, because sometimes it's not even about the measurements. Sometimes it's just about little things that you do during the Cuban link making process that don't go on camera, that don't do anything. Like little tricks, like, you know, something that you do that's just like, you either get taught that or you go through the ringer to learn it. You know?
And how long did it take you? Like, how long have you been doing it for? This for?
Like I bought all the equipment in April 2019. So like 4.5 years.
Oh wow.
Damn, dude.
And that's when I started. Like, so the amount of hours that I put in is crazy.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Where did you learn to do? Because the difference between like what regular jewelers do, and I'm sure you're privy to this, a lot of people, like, especially in our world, there's like the new generation and then there's the old generation. There's like the old jewelers, at least down here in Miami, it may be different from where you're at, but the older jewelers are like OGs that have been doing this shit for such a long time. They have their jewelry stores and they depend on traffic to attract customers, right? That's just the way they do it. You have a very big and strong online presence, and that's how you're able to reach so many people. So at what point did you begin to record it or realize that social media is probably going to be your like biggest tool in a way?
Yeah. So the thing is, though, when I started to make jewelry, it was just a hobby. I was studying at school, so I was getting my degree, my bachelor degree, and I only wanted to do it to make myself pieces in silver. That's it. So I started Made by Marv, the Instagram account, only to have like an album for myself, so I wouldn't forget what I've made.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
So it was never the plan of becoming a jeweler.
I just gave you too much credit there.
No, but so after I started the account, people started to like share it and follow, and it started to like gain a lot of traffic. And at first I was like, no, don't, like, it's just an album for myself, chill.
Yeah.
And then they started to ask if I could make this and that for them. And I was like, no, I don't take orders. I didn't have the confidence to do it either. So I didn't want to charge people money.
Right.
And after a while, I was like, okay, I could probably do that. And I'm going to just take what the material costs and almost nothing more.
Wow.
And then it just started to become more and more requests. And then when I made TikTok, that's where everything just shifted for me. Because, like, again, I started to record the process from day one. Because the way I learned to make jewelry was by looking at what other had done. So in my brain, it was like, I want to record my shit too. So I just posted everything. And when I posted TikTok, it just went viral really quick.
Yeah.
And that's
what was your first viral video?
Oh, I think it was Damn, I could check that out probably.
Yeah, but what did you hit, like 20 million?
No, it was like, but then back then I had like many videos hit like 3 million, 4 million, 6 million views.
Shit.
And that's when things started to like take off.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And what people were like, yo, dude, like, I want you to make me stuff. And that's kind of like, what was the first piece like?
I remember one night I was out partying with my guys and I had posted a video on TikTok. I think that was a 14 millimeter Cuban.
Oh, yeah.
And that wasn't even a good Cuban. At the time.
It was shitty.
Yeah, at best. For real. And I remember going to bed and like I had no notifications on my phone or Instagram. And when I woke up the next day, I had like 99 plus messages in my Instagram from TikTok.
Holy shit.
So that was crazy because now you know how hard it is to get somebody from TikTok over to your Instagram or like vice versa. It's crazy.
Yeah,
so
from one platform to another.
Yeah, getting so much traffic on my TikTok and just straight over to my Insta. And when I woke up, I was like, wow, I was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And you hadn't made a piece for people, or had you already started making like
No, back then I had only made like pieces for my friends and charged them nothing. And that was like, okay, shit, now I have to learn how to get paid from
now
abroad
you learn the
too.
business
And
side, yeah.
And it was just,
And you needed a website?
yeah.
So at that point, did you even answer people, or were you just like,
Yeah,
let me
I started to
handle
answer them on Instagram, and like I was very like picky on what I would had confidence to do.
Yeah.
So I would do some small works here and there, and just take payment through PayPal and just
and then
do the transfer it over to you. What is it? The Norwegian krone? Is that?
Crown?
Yeah, krone. Okay. Yeah. So you essentially did like the hard part first, which is like, most people will become a really good jeweler and then they'll work themselves into like getting a crowd.
Yeah.
You got a crowd and you were like a below average jeweler. That's
did it like
crazy.
simultaneously.
Yeah,
it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
So are there some people out there with like shitty made by Marv?
Yeah. The crazy thing about it is that like on the plane over here, a guy with like one of my first chains ever.
Oh god,
That's
so cringe.
I don't want to say that's so cringe, trash, but it's not. And the lock broke but it's four years later though, on a silver piece.
Oh, it's do you hand make them or you cast them?
Those were handmade. A box, like you know those big chunky rectangular box.
Yeah. And when it broke.
Yeah, he broke like the tongue. He broke. So he was like, "Can you fix it?" And I'm like, I don't even want to touch it.
I don't even want to look at that chain anymore.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed.
That's how it feels. But I think I just have to solder it or do something with it.
Just don't look at it. Just do it.
Yeah. I saw that you did a like there was a piece by you on, was it like Insider or Business Insider? Or
yeah.
Like, how did that come about? Because I've been on it too, but I think yours was like a lot more extensive than the ones that I like. How were they reach out to you? I want to know your story of how did that happen.
They just sent me an email at first, and I think first they asked me if I could repair jewelry and send them a video of how the process of repairing jewelry comes along.
Right.
And I was like, I don't like. At first I was like, okay, it's good exposure, but that's not what my goal is. I don't repair stuff. I make new things.
Right.
So I just hit them back with that. Like, could I possibly make something new and make a video on that instead of repairing something? And they was like, yeah, I'm here with the team and everything back and forth. And I was like, okay, we could do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they wanted you to be like a repairer, like jewelry repair.
Yeah, basically they said like as
put it into context, Melo. That's like the grunt work of jewelry.
Yeah.
It's grunt. Okay.
Yeah. It's like
so you were never.
Yeah.
No,
I would
do
never.
That. It's almost offensive.
Yeah.
In
actually,
a way,
it was.
In a way, yeah.
It is because.
Okay.
As a designer and somebody asks you to like stitch something together,
yeah.
that's been broken. You don't want to. You want to make something new.
Yeah. It'd be like asking Rolex, like, oh, like, can you show us how you repair the bands on your? Like, no, bitch, I make watches. Yeah. Like, fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. And they sent me like an example of a watchmaker that repairs watches. Have you seen that?
The Asian dude?
Yes.
I love that guy.
Yeah. I love the videos too.
That guy.
For sure.
He just comes out like he's a repair guy. Yeah, he just comes out and like all you see is like his head like just peer over and he just like opens the movement and like starts taking all the jewels out. Yeah, but he does all kinds of crazy shit.
And he's so good at it. So it's interesting to watch.
Yeah.
So like, but that's not the same thing when it comes to like repairing a piece of jewelry.
All right.
But that's dope that they were like, all right, cool, yeah, show me what you got.
So,
You know what I mean?
So what? They hit you back up and they're like, yo, we're gonna fly there and like check your.
No,
shit
I
out?
had to shoot everything myself.
Oh shit.
I shot everything, and then I had to do the voiceover and send them all the files, and then they edited it.
How did you know what they wanted? That's a.
Yeah.
Not, like I wanted to show me making the Cuban link, you know.
But what? Like, how did you get the lighting? Like, how'd you get the audio
He
to
just
sound
made it. He
good?
just makes it happen, dog. You know what I mean? At this
guy,
point,
dog.
dog, that's what I'm talking. But that's what I'm saying. It's like now you have to learn videography. Now you have to learn editing. Now you have to learn like you did all of that,
so
dude. That's
much.
incredible.
People don't even
He's
know.
so much better than you.
He really is, though.
Stop.
He really is, dog. I feel like a bag of dicks right now.
Hey, you want to start a podcast? I'm done with this guy.
VVS one, huh?
God damn it, dog. So you shot the whole thing.
Yeah. So it was like a tripod over there. Okay, is the lighting good? Yeah, it's okay. Am I in frame? I'd like record, go check, go back. Yeah, I'm in frame. Do it again. And I was like, it was a process.
So
Damn, that's
so
crazy.
dope.
And how did? Because I know that when I was on there, like we blew up because of that shit.
Yeah, you did.
Oh yeah. Did you see the difference? Was that or
I didn't feel enough.
really?
Yeah, you know the funny part is that when I made that bracelet, I tried to reach out to Burna Boy. You know who that is?
You know?
You don't know who that is?
Are you kidding
Who?
me, dude?
Burna
Boy.
Burna
Yeah,
Boy,
dude.
The Nigerian artist.
He's the worst. You're the
super
worst,
famous
dog.
now.
Like, where
Is
are
he?
you in
He's
life?
my idol for
Is
sure.
he?
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
okay,
he's probably
cool.
yeah,
Okay.
dude.
All right.
I just go on Apple
Oh, fuck
Music
me for not knowing who Burna Boy.
That's like saying, oh, you know who Bad Bunny is? Like he is
Oh,
the
he's
Bad
that
Bunny
big.
of that world. Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
All right. I
How
didn't
do
know.
you know what I mean? That's
I don't know who he
ridiculous.
is.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. I'm
Crucify-
sorry.
Crucify me.
You are no. It's happening, dude.
Damn it, dog. So talk to me about Burna Boy.
Yeah. Dog. And your experiences. No.
No, but like so I made a bracelet in rose gold with Nigerian flag clasp.
Okay.
So that's what I wanted to make as the video for the Art Insider. And so yeah, the exposure from Art Insider was not so big, but the TikTok and the Instagram video that I made off the same content that I sent them, but I made my own, got like millions of views and gained me probably like 70% of my followers now today.
Oh man.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So it worked. They worked out.
So it worked, you know, like it was like,
indirectly
okay, it didn't
kinda
go
with
exactly
that.
right,
Yeah.
but boom.
But boom.
But you
Yeah,
did
dude.
the Nigerian flag for Burna Boy? Like that was his
Yeah,
piece?
like I was trying to,
Market to him.
you know,
All right, okay.
but he's
too big now.
way too big.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
shops with A Jewelers.
I don't even know who that
You
is.
haven't heard of A Jewelers
No.
from London?
No. Bro, the thing is,
For
we're
real?
yeah, no, we're like secluded. We're ignorant Americans. Like, let's keep it a buck. We know Johnny Dang.
How do you know about me though?
Well, because the Instagram, the thing is, like, I'm on Instagram Cuban Links, so like we're both classified no matter where you are. Like, if there's somebody else that pops out like made by Zing in fucking China, and all of a sudden he's doing Cuban Links, I'm gonna see him eventually. He's gonna
Yeah.
pop up on my feed.
Yeah, for
That's just how Instagram qualifies us. But yeah, I don't know who A Jewelers is. I know who Bobby White is.
Yeah, he was also one of my biggest inspirations.
Oh, okay, yeah. His videographer is sick.
That's
He
that's
shits
crazy.
on my crappy
Come on, dude. You know.
on my crappy ass video. Now that we're shitting
Damn,
on people.
So you reached out to Burna Boy, you got no answer, or they were
No
just like, we're not
answer.
interested,
Nothing.
or just
Oh,
no
he
answer.
just
Nothing.
ghosted you, not
But
ignored you.
Yeah, but I've heard that he doesn't run his socials himself. So that was like,
Yeah, right, okay.
It wasn't, and I had so many people tag him, and one artist I don't remember his name, but he reached out to me and was like, I'm gonna help you reach him.
And he couldn't even get to him. That's how big he is. And
But
you
I've
don't
heard
even-
he,
Damn,
yeah.
fool.
So I don't know.
I didn't even know. So would you? And it was a gold piece with Nigerian flag.
Yeah, 14 karat rose gold with emeralds and diamonds, because
Oh,
the
damn,
Nigerian
that's
flag
fire.
is green, white, and green.
Oh, right.
You haven't seen that?
No,
piece?
I've seen the probably I've
Probably,
seen the thing,
yeah.
but I don't think I've seen that piece that you made. Maybe I have. It's that you do so much fire shit. Like I don't even remember.
I can show you afterwards.
Let's see it. No, just see it right now. Fuck it, bring it up right now. I want to see that shit now. And what is it? What'd you do with the piece when it was done? You didn't have a customer for it.
No, so the thing was,
That's kind of a crazy risk for you to
yeah,
do.
that
like
was
invest.
that was a lot of money for me.
But it would have been
a lot of money.
I mean,
for me,
it would have
so-
been worth it, and I mean, you know.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is like he has to
Still
invest
worth it.
all that stuff. Yeah, it ended up being. But look, I could do some pieces as an example, and I'll spend. Say for instance, I want to do a YouTube video on a kilo. That's 35 grand. I could do that and put it in there and say that kilo video only makes me 5,000 views. In other words, you take a really big risk putting your own money, making a piece, not knowing if it's gonna blow up or not.
Right.
You know what I mean? He could have done all that shit and it'd be like business or artists here be like, all right, man, hey, good for you, dog. And that's it.
So it's that one, the
Oh my God, that's
rose
beautiful,
gold
bro.
one.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's really, really nice. So you kept it?
Yeah. So the thing, it's high risk, as you say. Even with this bracelet as well, like I almost make myself broke to do those risks. As of now, that's how it is.
Yeah.
And what I ended up doing with that one, since I couldn't heat up the lock because of the emeralds, they would just
Yeah,
be
of course.
destroyed. So I had to saw it out and make a new lock that was a little longer. So I made it to a like plain 14 carats rose gold sleek lock, and I managed to sell that one though. So I still have the emeralds in my safe.
Yeah. Oh, because you took them out, right?
I took them all out.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
melted
And
the
you just put regular diamonds on the whole thing.
yeah.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
One day he's gonna reach out to you and you reject him.
Yeah. Like, nah, burner boy.
Hit up Gus, see if Gus can reach you, dog. And then Gus gonna be like, nah, I can't reach him, dog. He's too big, you know.
Yeah, but he shops like crazy. I saw he bought like a ring just now from A Jewelers for like $2 million. A little
That's
ring.
crazy.
He
You know,
got
it was a-
raped for sure, 1,000%.
What?
He got raped for sure. Like, there's no
Oh,
way.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, but he shot. They even made a piece for $1 million for him.
Yeah, but you gotta see this. You gotta see what he wears. You gotta see how big. Yeah, show.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Pull it
funny.
up.
I was gonna tell. I
Pull
was
it up on
one of the. We'll probably still do it, and maybe you can learn who he is. But you know, he just rejected a show in Dubai because they don't let him smoke weed over there.
I saw that.
$5 million. He was like, nah, dog, I can't
I'm
smoke
good.
over there. Nah, $5 million.
good.
Nah,
I'm
dog,
good, G.
I'm straight, dog. I'm all set,
I'll
dog.
take a brownie and get $5 million, dog. What the fuck?
Yeah,
that's
dude,
crazy.
but that's how, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's coming down. We should go.
This the piece.
this. All right, let me see it.
$1 million. So
$1 million.
that's A Jewelers.
Again, look, it's an incredible piece. By far, it's an incredible piece. But also, man, I hate to be a jeweler to say that some things are not worth it, but like there are certain things. Is this Burna Boy? Is that guy? Is that him?
No,
He's
that's
white.
So
oh,
that's A Jewel. That's like the.
that's the
founder
dude
of
from.
A Jeweler.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Oh, this is Burna Boy.
Yeah.
That's him.
Oh, he kind of looks like Tyson Fury in a way. I mean, not Tyson Fury. The other dude, whatever, one of these boxer dudes. The one that goes the can't wait.
Oh, yeah. What are you talking
I
about?
forget
Yeah.
what the guy's name. That's crazy though. So like, how being as though you're not in a country that is particularly known for jewelry. Like I can't tell you how many Norwegian people I
that's
see
what I was
iced
gonna
out.
ask,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Nobody.
Like, there's no, for example, here, you guys have, here in downtown Miami, there's the jewelry district, right?
Yeah.
And just like, it's Miami Cuban Link, right? So the jewelry down here in Miami is a huge deal, you know?
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
the same concept over there. It's like, is there an area over there where there's people? No.
No, not at all.
So where'd you set up shop? Are you not surrounded by jewelers, or like are you like surrounded by like a coffee shop?
No, like I'm right now. I'm surrounded by like not museums, but like art galleries.
Art galleries.
Yeah, it's like it's not like districts.
Right.
Oh,
okay,
really?
yeah.
My shop is just there.
It's just,
And
it's just a spot you found, and it was in between.
It was
you know?
available, and it was a jeweler there before us.
Okay.
So
So
it
you had
was
like a vent or whatever.
yeah, yeah. It was like
Oh, okay. So you had like the essentials.
yeah.
That's crazy, bro. And how, again, you're in this remote, what in the jewelry world, it's this remote part of the world, making jewelry for the rest of the world, because in your own country, nobody's,
Yeah.
I'm assuming, buying. So how the hell do you do that? How do you, everyone in Miami, like, or elsewhere, is probably the only ones buying Miami Cuban Links, or in the United States. I mean, I can't think of, you know, like I said, like someone in Iceland being like, oh, I want this
I gotta
Cuban.
get that Cuban
I gotta get
doll,
that
you know
Cuban
what I'm
dog. Let
saying?
me get that 8mm, you know?
Yeah, no. So if I wouldn't have had my TikTok going viral in the States, I would never be where I'm at today.
For sure.
Impossible.
Yeah, it has to be, because that's the market.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Number one, what if somebody reaches out to you? Because you know, Cuban Link chains it's an impulsive buy, or anything like a ring or a watch. It's an impulsive buy. What happens like when they hit you up and you're sleeping? Because the time zones are different as well.
Yeah, I don't know if is it that impulsive.
For the most part, I mean, for me, like usually I have 4 guys answering DMs. So the minute they come in, hell yeah. So the minute they come in, they get that answer relatively quick. I mean, it's not more than 20 minutes.
Okay.
And so they're answered on the spot, and they go through the whole sale, and then boom, and then you close that sale.
Yeah.
Like relatively quick. Now, I'm not saying not all of them are the case, but for the most part. So like, let's say for instance, I'm interested in a piece. Like if I have to wait, at least for the US, that's the way the consumer mindset is. Mm-hmm. If I have to wait 3 days for an answer for like a simple question like, hey, how much is this? Or how much can you do that? I'd be kind of like, yeah, I'm over it.
Okay. Yeah, this is like good information for me to get. Because, no, but for real, this has been my biggest issue. And especially from like the way that I started, when you start from like zero and you have to build up, first of all the knowledge and the skills, and then you have to build up capital and money to make stuff that you want to like show the world that you can make before you can start selling it. So I don't have I have to answer all the DMs myself.
Ugh.
So yeah, that's
hideous.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, but like at the same time, I like being the one that they speak to, because I feel like that's been a key thing for my brand, that people, they know that it's Marv and like it's made by me and everything is done by me all the way. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's something I'm struggling to give that away. So I'm still just me. I'm even doing accounting.
That's what I was gonna ask you, because you said like you said us when you talked about the shop.
Yeah, that's because
go ahead.
The first place that because when I started to get like bigger burners and stuff, my mom kicked me out of my room. She said, "You can't work here no more." She started to get scared.
Thank God she did. That's a safety hazard, dude.
So I found like a workshop, and that's where I got to know like an older jeweler, and he also wanted like more like a place to ourselves, or himself and me from myself too, because my brand started to like expand or get bigger. So we found that shop that we're at today. So we split the rent, but like on the window is like a split, and it's like Marv and it's his brand.
You guys taped it down the middle, like here's my spot.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So in the window we have like our separate stands. And
that's interesting. So you guys are sharing a space currently, right?
Yeah.
Right now. And that is, so it's made by Marv and this other dude, but your particular space, it's your brand, right? And it's all I ever know about you. Now, it's kind of the same thing with me, because I have GusVillaJewelry, but ultimately I probably haven't done, I still do chains, but they're very rare. They have to be like, maybe I do one every 2 weeks or something like that. However, my process is maybe a little bit easier because I can find more guys that I know can do Cuban links, and then I just kind of tweak them to making them the way I want them to, and then ultimately I do all the quality control. But at some point, if your plans are, I don't know what they are, but to expand and have a team, it's not going to be made by Marv. Or at what point are you going to start letting that go?
That's exactly what's the hardest.
That's what you're battling right now.
Yeah,
it's going to be made kind of by Marv. Yeah, but it's going to be supervised by Marv.
That's the thing. That thought just scares me a lot.
Why?
I don't know. It's just like been the way that I've built everything so far. So I'm afraid that it just loses its value if it's not physically made by me anymore,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, the amount of work that he put in to do this, right? Who else over there did the same thing that you can like be like, okay, he can get it done too for me,
Like
nobody probably.
I recently spoke to a jeweler that he works for like another big jewelry company. So he just makes stuff that they want him to make and has this regular salary and everything. So I spoke to him recently, and he's really skilled. And I was like, this might be a dude that I could make my stuff. But still, I don't know what I would do with the branding. I'm like, should I make like one thing called just Marv and another thing called Made by Marv?
Yeah.
Which are actually pieces made by me. And the Marv pieces are my designs, but made by
that's actually not a bad idea at all, dude.
Yeah. You go ahead.
Well, speaking of that, unless you're piggybacking, because I'm kind of
no. What I was gonna say was like, I think it's an interesting topic to say, because I compare myself to you only in the scheme of trying to understand where you're at and trying to give you like genuine advice of what I would do in your situation. And I think that like 2 points, and one of them is kind of what he always talks to me about. I think a lot of people in the beginning get so bent on their message initially, which I remember mine's as well. And it was a tough time to kind of break apart that, because I used to be with a different company before I sold my half over there and started my own thing. And as much as your name is on there, if your plans are to eventually leave, I think it is going to be at some point capped unless you begin to either teach someone or build a team around you that can help you do it. But I think that the thought of subsidizing any sort of work ever in any business as a business owner is probably one of the scariest things to do, because you still want people to know that the quality is going to be fire.
Yeah.
But ultimately, if you do want to become wildly successful as a jeweler, you are going to have to let that rein go. You have to let someone say, even if they're not as skilled as you, maybe they just have as much effort as you, and then you can hone in that effort into creating some sort of jewelry. Because like I said, if not, then it's always just going to be made by Marv. And yeah, you could have a great career in, you know, creating all the beautiful jewelry that you want, but there is a ceiling to that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hinders you in a way. It's your biggest asset, but if you leave it that way, it could also be the thing that just always caps you, because you don't give somebody else the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, for sure. So that's what I've been thinking a lot, though. Like, I do have to expand and bring other people in if I want to become a lot bigger. Since, you're going to reach like a cap pretty quick where you can't handle all the messages. You cannot like fulfill the demand and everything. So I have to expand at one point.
Yeah, you get burned out too.
Yeah, you get burned out.
At that point, it becomes something else, like mental, physical, like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I had a situation recently. So in the very beginning, my trajectory went like I was making the chains when I first started, and it was just 3 of us. I knew one guy who was going to be, he was an amazing jeweler, and we both worked together. I already knew him. He just knew how to do small little adjustments to make it look like how I wanted the chain to look. I got one guy who had absolutely nothing. And in the beginning, I grew very fast. Within 3 months, I couldn't physically make the chains anymore. And so I started getting people, and that was a big thing. But the biggest takeaway from all this is most recently, maybe about 3 months ago, I realized that creating content for my brand that's already pumping out, it didn't matter whether I was in the shop or I was outside of the shop. I knew that the quality and the person who I had put to run it was going to pump out my kind of quality. I didn't have to worry about that no more. But the business itself has a lot of operational stuff that I just was involved with 100%. So the packing of orders, which I'm sure you're familiar with, answering DMs, customer service, people not happy with this, whatever the fuck it was, And that was being the business owner. It now became a business. It wasn't about making chains anymore.
Yeah.
But the most important part of my brand, and I think that your brand is going to be, is the content creation. It's the creating the YouTube channel. It's all that stuff. So my dilemma was on just one step above yours, which was like, how do I someone run my entire business and I just create content? And it's a struggle that I see in your face.
Yeah.
And it's a struggle that I went through. And that's the reason why I can relate to it. And I explained this story to you because it took me about like 72 hours of sleepless nights before I made the decision to let one of my guys completely run the business. And you just saw him. He's the one from downstairs.
Okay.
That's Victor. He basically runs the operational side.
Yeah.
And then since I'm able to free that up and just let go, just completely let go and have someone take over for me, I am now able to create more quality content. So I could sit there with my phone and just record and create these podcasts and create YouTube channels. And that's allowed me to expand in the past 3 months since I made that decision. Probably if they were to look at a trajectory of my business, it was like this, and now it's like this.
Okay, wow.
So if I can give you any sort of recommendation, I would seriously start to tell or contemplate the idea of somehow, little by little, it's not an overnight thing, little by little begin to release some of those responsibilities. And I think that as long as you're still the face of the company and your quality control is still by yours, Made by Marv is still going to get the same amount of customers. And people are still going to buy it regardless, because as much as I do think that people buy it because it's you, they also know that if you're doing other kinds of content and you're supervising and it's still Made by Marv, like it's still going to be just as good, bro.
Yeah, the quality, as long as I do the quality control.
As long as the quality is there. Now, if you start slipping on the quality, like, fuck that. Nobody's going to buy your shit.
Never.
Yeah, exactly. But as long as the quality is still there, then I think that that's probably going to be your best bet to go down. At least my advice is.
Yeah.
Anyway, you had a question?
Oh yeah.
I just wanted to get that out of there. You know?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man.
Sure.
I saw on your Instagram that you have your own design, right?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. How did that come about?
The why not that I've called
Fire.
it.
Let's see it. Take it out,
dude.
Thank you.
So
Take it out.
fire.
That shit
I've been
is-
peeping that, dog.
I saw it online on Instagram. I almost fucking threw my phone on the floor, dog. I was like, oh, fuck this. I suck.
So dope.
No, but like
beautiful,
it's like a prototype, that one though, but still it came out good.
What's
and
the prototype, bro? Come on. Don't show off, dog. This is it, dog. This is it, dog. This is it, dog. That's beautiful, bro. This is really, really nice.
Really?
What do you want to be known later on in life as more of like a jewelry designer? Is that where you're kind of gravitating towards more? Or do you want to be the king of like Cuban link chains kind of thing?
No, I think like for me, the Cuban links is more like a bread and butter, and I would more like to design more complex and like special jewelry, do more custom pieces.
Yeah.
Like Eliante, for example, you don't know who that is.
You
You don't know who Eliante is?
All right, dog. Gus.
This guy, yo, you're embarrassing me here, dog. And I'm not even
all
a
right.
jeweler,
He's
dog.
a
Like
jeweler.
he's a student of the game.
He's a jeweler.
He knows who's who. He knows who Burna Boy is. He knows a jewelers. Like,
All right.
what do you know? Like, let's talk about. Jesus Christ.
Eliante's a jeweler.
Yes, Elliot. You have heard multiple rap lyrics about Elliot, Eliante. Gus, come on.
All right, he's the worst. Dude.
I'm
I'm
gonna
sorry.
admit I
I'm
have
so
a little
sorry.
bit of autism.
I gotta whip up Eliante.
Yeah.
man.
Dude.
All right.
Oh my
All right.
God.
Yeah.
dog.
You looking for a new videographer?
Yeah.
Everybody's jumping ship after this, dog.
It's crazy though.
This guy's a false prophet, dog.
Elliot, made in you. Okay. All right. I mean, yeah. So he's a jeweler. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. What?
I think he started off pretty much like me, so he made like pieces here.
but he
and
does
there.
it himself.
He did.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
Oh.
but not anymore. Definitely not.
Well,
Exactly.
That's another thing that I was going to ask you because, you know, the goals, regardless if you guys are making Cuban links or not, the goals might be different, right? So
Right.
your goal may not necessarily be to hand off and, you know, sell these chains and just take off. Maybe it's to
True.
design the jewelry. You know what I'm saying? So you may not necessarily have to do, you know, where you have to get a groove. I mean, eventually you're still probably going to have to.
Probably.
I mean, regardless of what.
Yeah.
But it seems almost like your main goal is to like get into that particular world. That's why like I was curious to find out about the design and all that stuff and where you were going with it.
Yeah.
Right? Like what was the end game in that particular sense? Because you're making the Cuban links, but now you have your own design. So is that really what you want to be doing, right? That's
Yeah, so yeah, like for me to make my own designs has a lot of value for me. So definitely I want to be like able to release collections of my designs only.
yeah.
And that's what's really hard now when you have to like make the bread and butter so you get the money and then at the same
Yeah.
time try to make new designs and then you got to take some money aside to put that design to life so you can show it to the customers and everything. So but that's like when I'm thinking of it, I really need to have other people make my
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
'cause
that's where I was gonna
if
say
not,
exactly
it's gonna
what you
be
were saying. Yep.
impossible to go that route.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like setting a pendant with 15,000 diamonds, I couldn't be doing that and designing like 10 new ones at the same time.
Yeah.
For a small operation, how do you have like an investor that helps you? Because like to front pieces, or this is all self-funded?
This is all self-funded. And that's what's hard about it because the money is not always there. And when you like build the bread up and you just spend it all again just to create something, and you always have that risk running all the time and the stress.
Yeah, dude.
That's
I work
incredible.
like 12 hours a day
Yeah.
minimum,
Yeah.
every day.
That's probably minimum. I was gonna say probably more if anything, dude, because you're running everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. And what happens, like, I know how that is. Fuck, I'm going to say something. The way that you get out of that, because I was in that in the beginning, is to have more people.
Yeah.
You have to bring up production. That's the only way. Because I used to have that in the beginning too, where I would make like 5 chains, and I buy a kilo of silver because that's the only thing I could afford.
Yeah.
And then you buy that kilo of silver, you make a bunch of chains, and then you're just sitting around waiting for like 5 days until you sell that.
Yeah.
Now, luckily in Miami, people come and want Cuban links all the time. But if you're sitting in Oslo, Norway, it's not like you got a line of motherfuckers
I
coming
just
out
thought
of
of something, dog. Why don't you do like a jewelry exchange, like a jeweler exchange program? Like send a bunch of my Nika friends over to can you imagine them? You know what I'm saying? Send them over there.
Yeah, no,
you know
I was gonna ask you, with the talent that you have in jewelry making, have you considered moving to, say, for instance, the U.S. or a country where there is more opportunity for that?
For sure. That's why I chose to stay here for a week. Because like I want to see
scoping out the scene.
Yeah, and just like
I'm gonna show you around here. Yeah, we're gonna go around
to get the vibe and just see how it is. But I surely had to stay here longer before I could like decide to move. Yeah. But when I hear like, just when we talked in the beginning about just the pricing on gold, buying from refineries and all that stuff.
Yeah. It's wild.
It's like a no-brainer.
Yeah,
I shouldn't be in Norway.
Yeah.
Not at all.
It's you know, it's one of those type of situation, Marv. Like I said, man, I tell you this straight from like a heartfelt place to where I want, like, my suggestion for you to go on anything. And not that you need my suggestion or anything like that, because ultimately you're gonna do whatever you want to do. But
I appreciate it.
There's gonna be situations where you have better opportunity in other places. And I'm not saying that also doesn't have one, but based on what you are and the talent that you have in making jewelry in general, there are other places, even probably closer to you, even in the European continent, you know what I mean, that will have higher demands like that. And I look at you and I'm like, damn, like that, everything that is so easy for us here, you have to go jump through so many hoops for. Like buying gold, like you buy it at such an insane premium, and here it's always like $8 or $9 over spot. Like the most I'll ever pay. Down here we have a refinery, like right in the middle of heart, and nobody buys from them because they have $20 over spot price, and everyone's like flabbergasted that you're like, oh god, $20. Don't be ridiculous.
Why is it?
Because
why is that price different? What's the difference over there
in Norway?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. All the taxes that we pay is crazy.
Is it okay? So it's because they have to export it. Like, how does that work?
I don't know. Maybe because it takes them longer to get gold because it usually always comes from South America. I don't know.
The process regarding the refining, and I don't even know.
There's probably something it's probably something along those lines where they have to like.
It's just like everything over there is overpriced.
Yeah,
and the taxes is crazy as well, and it's just.
Yeah, it's because like even if when I ship stuff over there or just anywhere, you know, the countries will stop whatever it is. So say, for instance, I just shipped a Cuban Link chain, 22 karat chain to someone in France, and the agent in France was just like, oh, well, yeah, you have to pay $8,000 in taxes for this chain. Just like that, dog.
That's the same in Norway. It's like 25%. So if crazy. I ordered a Cuban free for 10K,
yeah, you'd have to pay $2,500.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
So it would cost essentially
$12,500.
Yeah.
Christ.
God. Yeah. So that, like, when many like customers in Norway, for example, if they ask me for the price of something, and I give them the price, and they're like, yeah, but hey, look at this guy in the US. He's gonna sell it to me for, let's say I said $12,500 for a chain, and he says Gus gonna sell it to me for 10K. I'm like, okay, when it arrives here, you're gonna pay the 2.5 anyway. So it's the same price. So that's like one of the reasons why things are so expensive in Norway.
It's so interesting you bring that. I didn't even notice that you are essentially competing with U.S. customers, also U.S. manufacturers.
I'm competing with everybody.
Yeah,
and then you have to educate them on like.
And you're all the way in Norway.
On this,
you know how much educating it is.
Do their editor, videographer, teacher, jeweler,
creator, designer.
Jesus, dude.
Well, what has been your biggest reward? Because I'm sure your college degree has nothing to do with Made by Marv. I'm sure.
You finished college, bro? Nah,
yeah. Did you finish? You know, when I started to study, I was going to be a realtor.
No way,
yes.
Bro. So that's horrible. Being a jeweler is so much cooler.
Since I was a kid, I always wanted to like buy and invest in property.
Yeah. Sure.
So that's what came to my mind. I thought that was a good route to go. And then after 2 years, I was like, nah, this ain't me.
Yeah.
So I switched up to something called Creative Industries Management. And that's when I have
What the fuck is that?
Well, he's tell us all about it.
I can't even explain it, you know? At that point, I was like, I just don't want to drop out.
Yeah, just give me whatever.
I've been there for 2 years. I was like...
Creative... What was that?
Creative Industries Management.
Yeah, dude.
We have a degree like that. What's it called? The one
Political science or something?
No, dude, it's the one that all the athletes always graduate with.
There's a business management, sports management, and there's just a bunch of baloney. History, a major in history.
I was this close dropping out though.
Yeah.
But I thought now that I've gone there, so I need my bachelor. So I took 2 more years, and then.
You just got it.
And now that one has nothing to do with the other, like, what has it been as an entrepreneur? Like, because owning your own business is scary as fuck.
It is. It really is. Like, the most part that it has given me is just the accounting part. Because it's a business school that I went to. So that's the only thing that I've gotten.
Well, that's a big piece of the pie.
That's a huge one.
I know.
That's good. That's excellent.
Yeah, but still, so... No, I don't know. I've always been like this, though. I wanted to do something myself. So I feel like it's always been, like, incorporated in me. Mm-hmm. And I like the risk at the same time as it's stressful, though. But I feel like that's the way that I am.
Yeah, dude. You could tell that your brain works differently. Like, for example, when you said at the beginning that you just started doing jewelry just for yourself. Like, instead of just being like, oh, let me hit up Gus and just buy a chain off of him, like, nah, dog, I'm going to make it myself.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you could tell that your brain's already, like, it just works differently and in a great way, because obviously you've made it, like, this far.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for, like, those people that do hit you up who are in there? Because I always say myself, and this is just myself, and you've heard me say this 1,000 times, even the most successful people, yes, of course, there's always hard work. I'm not discrediting that. Hard work, and you got to be a pitbull about certain things, and you got to have a disgusting work ethic if you want to bring your baby, your business to light. But there is a percentage, if it were a slice of pie, there is that slice of pie that I am fully cognizant of, which is you sometimes you just get lucky.
You think so?
I think so for sure. Like, there has to be a certain amount of chance that happens, because there could be people that are just as determined and all this stuff, but maybe they don't necessarily make it as far. You know what I mean? Or maybe they just don't blow up as fast or whatever it is. I am very cognizant at least there is a little bit of luck involved in making something. Like, for instance, what if TikTok wasn't so hot when you first came out and started doing this? Like, you would have had to do this like how our, for instance, older parents started to do this, which was like word of mouth and like being good and like, here's my business card, you put up a couple videos on YouTube and you blew up, which is amazing. So there are a certain amount of people that are like, but there are, of course, the other extent, which is like the smaller time jewelers that hit us up wanting information. And of course, that we get all the time. What would be your advice to those people who don't necessarily have the success that you have, or maybe even have viral videos or stuff like that you can maybe, that are listening to this podcast and maybe are fucking bored out of their minds in their 9-to-5 jobs, like we were, like I was, you know what I mean? And that want to look at you and they're like, God damn it, dog. Like, that guy went in another country making, Cuban link chains in a market that has nothing to do with it. And now he's like one of the premier names online when you think of like Cuban link chains. What do you have that kind of advice for those people?
That's a big question, though.
Tough one. It's a tough one. I loaded that one.
It's because, you guys, the one thing I could see with both of you, seeing you and then you talking about it, is that you guys just put your head down. That's why you're clueless and you don't know anything. True. Because you guys just put your head down and just work. Yeah. And that's, so what advice can you give? That's really what,
Like, that's what I was supposed to say. Like, it's just the amount of work you put in. That's what my genuinely advice.
Yeah.
The amount of hours you put in, I don't believe so much in luck.
Really?
A little bit.
It's how you define it too, though.
As you.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you really, really want something, you can do it.
Yep.
But you have to, like, breathe it. It's in your mind constantly. That's all you want to do.
Yeah.
And you got to put your hours into it, and eventually you will.
It's an obsession.
It has to.
You have to be obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And then. No excuses. Like, he's creating jewelry, but then he also needs to, like we're saying, he needs to do videos, he needs to do content, he needs to edit. But like, anybody could just be like, oh, yeah, I got to do all that too. Like, nah, I'm straight, dog, because that's not what I want to do.
For sure. But yeah. And also a really, really big factor is patience, though. Because, like, people don't have patience. If I wasn't patient, I would never become good at making Cubans, because I made thousands of crappy Cubans. Like, you would become tired of making those if you weren't patient enough or motivated enough to know that, okay, eventually I'll make them good enough. So that's
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I think right now, especially like in this, like right now in the kind of the generational Instagram, they just see you and they just see the highlights, right? They just see the Nigeria piece that looks stunning, all this stuff that you're doing, your Cubans that are fucking pristine, you know? And they look at it and they have no idea that 4 years ago you were doing some crappy ass shit that you're still probably getting phone calls.
Almost burning your mom's house down.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. They don't see all the hard work that you do or have done, especially when you come to like a certain point where your Instagram feed looks good and you've got like some nice pieces on and stuff. They don't know what you've been doing to get there. And I was working like as the pizza delivery guy.
No fucking way.
Yeah, and I was like in my room, my bedroom, like pulling wires. I used to stand on like a small wooden plate and pull it with like with what's it called again?
Yeah, like vice grips.
With pliers.
Yeah.
And in my pizza suit, making that, and then 5 minutes I gotta run to work, come back home and finish up pieces. I was like constantly making jewelry all the time. So it's been like I don't even know. I feel like I've done it for 10 years in the amount of 4 years.
Yeah.
And then it brought you all the way over here. All that hard work brought you all the way over
But that's
here,
crazy though. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like even you, like, you know, they see you at a club and they see you rocking it out and they're just like, oh, well, I think I could do that shit. But they don't know that, like,
all the time I spent crying in my room.
Yeah, like my dad has an example. Like he told me, some people asked the rich guy, like, oh, I want that car that you have. And he was like, if you know the amount of work I've done to get this car, you don't even want the car.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a crazy.
Yeah, but it's so true.
Yeah.
Like, not many people can go through stuff to get to certain points.
Yeah.
They just don't want it enough.
Right.
Yeah. They don't want it. They're not patient enough. Nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
So what do you want to do? Like, what is the plan for Made by Marv now? Tentative, of course, it could always change. Is it an evolving thing? Is it something that you have a clear-cut goals? Like, what are you trying to do with the brand right now?
That's also a big question. My head is like back and forth on this.
What are you thinking? Give me, weigh it out. Let's weigh it out so that you could see this.
Let's make the decision right now on camera. Let's do it.
No. I just want to know the thought process behind it, because I
Yeah.
think it's interesting sometimes to like almost freeze time in a way and keep it like in a time capsule.
Yeah.
So that 5 years, 2 years, 3 years down the line, you can then revisit this podcast and be like, damn, that's what I was thinking about then.
Yeah.
And this is what ended up happening now. So what are your options?
Like, for sure, I want to expand. Like, I need somebody on my team. And if it's a jeweler or like somebody to do the accounting and all of that, like administrative
Like the
stuff.
clerical bullshit.
Yeah. Or DMs.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Either one of them. But like the biggest issue around that now is money. So, and I really struggle to give percentages away of my business.
Yeah.
That one is scary.
Yeah.
And to hire somebody now wouldn't be possible.
Yeah.
So it's like,
You could I mean, you guys do that a lot here, where you can like kind of like an internship where you, in exchange for them answering DMs, you can kind of show them a little bit about how you make your jewelry. You know what I'm saying? For somebody that's trying to learn or whatever. You know?
yeah.
Could be little things like that. I don't know. You know?
Yeah, but it is like there are some options, but it's just so hard, you know. And I feel like the biggest issue of everything is just capital as of now. So
yeah, that's a huge one, bro. Especially for jewelry, like just to say for instance, that guy, whatever, Eliante. Okay, I knew that. The dude, he's probably a millionaire already. But say, for instance, I got approached by someone, and I have gotten approached by artists who have said, hey, listen, can you make me this piece? And, you know, the piece just in material, you're talking about like $250,000 to $300,000. Just you got to front that, dog. You got to front that. You know what I mean? And that, for someone like myself, who has already had some success in this game, would still put me on a strain, because that's an insane amount of capital that you have to just attach to this one piece, of which they can, let's be real, look at it and be like, nah, I don't want it, dog. Yeah. Now what the fuck do you do,
is
dog?
that the way you would do it?
Yeah.
You would have to front that?
1,000%. Yeah, you ask them for a deposit. It happens all the time. Yeah, it happens all. Look, I'll give you a prime example. And this is nothing crazy. This chain that I'm wearing right now is 170 grams, 22 karat, which in gold, just in gold and labor, you're talking about maybe like $12,500. I got them, and the guy called me maybe 4 days before I had to deliver it. Said, hey, bro, my mom died. I can't buy the chain, bro. My bad. Like, I need my deposit back of what you put down, $5 or $6 grand. And like, yeah, I don't need the chain anymore, bro. My bad. And I was like, what am I going to be like? Oh, my God. You know, my bad. Shout out to whoever it was. Rest in peace, your mom. But I had to be like, all right, I got to eat that. Yeah. So I had to give him back his money because, of course, you're not going to keep it. That's still your business. That's still your word. You still want to give that money back. And then I have to just sit on this piece. And this is 12 grand.
Can't you like melt it down? And
yeah, you can, but it's already a created piece. So you don't want to just melt down and lose the labor and time that you made to create the piece. So this is just a small piece. Now, to me, it's not that big a deal. But for, say, for instance, someone who's just starting out, that would cripple their cash flow for the month, for the week, sometimes for 2 months, you know, because it's an insane amount of money. And that's why a lot of jewelers start off with silver, because it's not so much capital that you have to put in. That's kind of how I started. And then eventually you get into bigger things. But I've had a fucking kilo of 18 karat gold canceled on me. And that's like 60 grand.
Wow.
But it's all about capital.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Don't you take a deposit first? Like,
yeah,
and you give that back.
I was about to say, like, isn't
What's the point?
Right.
Of
what's the point of a deposit at that point?
So the deposit is just so that you can so if they do complete their order, which 99% of the times they do, you don't have to front so much of your own money, and then they do have skin in the game. But ultimately, you have, like, if they cancel that, at least here in the States, good customer service requires them to give you the money back, because it's not a completed order. It's not allowed unless you say, hey, listen, this deposit is 20% non-refundable no matter what happens. Like, I cannot give you that money. Yeah. You can, but it's just the right thing to do. At least for our standards, it's the right thing to do. People are really big on customer service here in the States. So, like, for me to ask someone, put down a $10,000 deposit and then just be like, oh, well, this is non-refundable. Like, nah, I can't do that, dog. So you have to take that hit.
Yeah, but that's very, like, rarely that it happens, though.
Exactly. For someone to just stop or cancel an order.
Yeah, I mean, once they've given such a large deposit, they're all in pretty much.
But
that's something like your mom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and so you have to. That's what I'm saying. Like, now I know what you're talking about with capital in the jewelry business, because it's struggle. Do you have an option for that, or no? Just nothing. You know, I can give you an option for it. Get more people, build more production, and it's gonna do it. Yeah, it's the only way to do it.
Then I would have to give percentages.
No, you don't have to. No, I'm not talking about like an investor. An investor would say, I'm gonna give you $50,000 for 10% of your business or whatever they value it at. I'm talking about make production, even if it's just small, even if it's just one employee, make more silver, and then eventually be able to pay that person, and then eventually that person will begin to pay his own salary, and then eventually you'll grow into where you'll need a second employee. And in the beginning, you're just grabbing all the money, you're just putting it right back. That's what I would do. All the money that I would make, I just put it right back into the business. Every single penny. I would pay myself, and I still pay myself very, very little. And so just pay yourself with that and just put the rest of it back, and then that'll begin to grow. And then eventually, you're just going to have money from metal just to sit in your safe. Yeah. So when someone calls you, boom, you just pull it out, make the piece, done, good to go.
You mentioned at the beginning of the podcast that how you started doing the jewelry was because you wanted to have it for yourself. Yeah. Like, you like to go party, like you like to like rock it, like what's nightlife like in Norway, dude? You know, I had to ask, man. I'm a DJ, dog. You know what I'm saying?
No, for us it's boring though.
Yeah,
the city is small. Oslo is a small city.
Yeah, so there's no like nightlife there. Like,
there is nightlife for sure, but like by the end of 25, you're tired of it already.
Really?
Yeah.
You'll never get tired of the nightlife out here.
No, I know.
Yeah, man. So you were where? You were in Orlando.
Yeah.
For how long were you there?
Just one night.
Just one night?
Yeah, it was at the Wave Hotel, Lake.
Okay. And today is your first day in Miami?
No, it's we came on Thursday and we went to...
So you've been here a week?
Is it Thursday today?
Yeah. No, guys, Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday. Oh, I thought
I saw it. I was like, we're going to miss our plane. We got to go.
Wait a minute. About to run out of here, Gus. Jesus Christ.
Damn, my bad.
So did you get to explore a little bit? Did you see what differences are there? I mean, the
difference is huge, though. Like, you can't even compare Miami to Oslo. We've been out and about a little bit, but we're thinking of going to Wynwood today.
Wynwood, yes.
Is that good?
Yeah. Oh, we can all go out to eat today later then.
I work today till 12.
Okay. What time do you start?
8.
Oh, okay, cool. You got time. All right, cool. Yeah. And so if I can ask you one final question so we can wrap this up. Has it been an hour? It's been an hour. Okay, cool. I will ask you this one defining question that's super deep and super.
He does this every time.
It's not deep at all. It's not deep at all.
For $1 million.
Can you imagine if you whipped out that goddamn fucking question list?
We had such a good podcast. All right, anyways, let's get down to
phone a
business.
friend. My stupid ass. What is the defining thing that you want to be remembered by on social media or on anything in general about you?
Damn, that was
a tough one.
Yeah, he does this every time.
You
It's
almost
not
have to
worth
repeat
But
it,
the
man.
thing about it is that when you see deep people that have so much pride in what they do, I have that very clear in my head. I'm sure you have that clear in your craft and anything. And I ask that to people who I genuinely are craftsmen. And it doesn't have to be necessarily about building something. These could be DJing. This could be if you're a reader, you're a writer, a passionate, whatever the hell. There's a certain thing that you see in someone when they're so incredibly passionate about. And so it's a very interesting question that I ask people like that because at the end of the day, usually they have that in their head, at least an idea of it. What's yours? What's that one defining thing that you want to be known for, defined for when they think of like Marv, the jeweler?
First of all, I would have to say like the quality of what I make in my work is top priority for me. And number two, like I want to be known as a humble guy. Even though like you operate with expensive stuff and like you have a lot of cocky people wearing jewelry, I like being more of a humble person around it, even though the lifestyle could be otherwise, you know? So that's like really important for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, dude. No,
God damn it.
Quality and humbleness.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, bro. This podcast has been dope. I've learned a
Amazing.
lot about you.
Amazing.
I want to
Appreciate
just
being here.
tell you now that I have you in front of you. I said that I was going to say it in the beginning of the podcast. I'm going to say it at the very end, of course. The first time I saw your work, I was working for the other company that I had before. I since left that and started my own.
Yeah.
And I remember where I was specifically. That's how floored I was when I first saw your Instagram account. I was sitting next to my business partner and I see somebody with dreads, a huge black dude, which is not common. I don't say it in a racist way. I'm saying like I see Cuban guys making. Sometimes it's weird to even see me because people think that I'm like Indian.
Well, you're weird looking.
Yeah. So I see this dude in huge dreads, and I see the video starts, and it's like you start making this Cuban link chain, and then you show it at the end. And I remember sitting there like almost jaw to the floor, thinking, "Who the fuck is this guy, and where is he from?" And then I click on your bio or whatever, and then I see that you're not even in Miami because I thought you were here. I was about to run up on you with my crew. Dog. Like, hold up, dog. Who's this dude, yo? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, this guy's not even here. And then looking through all of your things, and I think I sent you a message, and I wanted to let you know. I was like, bro, your work is some of the most incredibly precise and beautiful chains I have ever seen, and I still say that to this day. And I wanted to tell you it in your face because you have to give someone flowers when they're that fucking good. And I pride myself in like people tell me like, oh, but nothing impresses you, Gus, because you don't know what really good looks like. And when you see it, you have to recognize it. So I wanted to let you know that it's been a pleasure doing this podcast, but more so how incredibly talented you are. And if you don't know who this guy is, follow him on
Made by Marv.
Made by Marv, because he is a fucking monster at making Cuban link chains.
Burner
And
Boy,
jewelry
you
in
missed
general.
out.
Wow.
Burner Boy, you missed out,
Those
dog.
words, though, that hit me, though. I
Good,
appreciate
man.
that
Good.
a lot, for real.
Good,
'Cause,
bro.
like,
Good. I meant them. I meant every word that I just said, bro.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I'm almost speechless.
Oh, good. I hope that is a good way to end the podcast.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys. We'll see you in the next one. You want to say something before we go?
Nah, just thank you so much for having me and making the Miami experience even better.
Yeah, we're going to go eat some fucking Cuban food now. Let's
Yeah.
go do that.
Yeah, let's do
All right,
that.
guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.